Tenant improvements. Permitting process for tenant improvements, also known as TIs. Therefore, businesses opening new locations or renovating existing ones. These are different than secondary suites, so don't confuse the two. If possible, contact us before signing any lease. This ensures the location qualifies for the type of business you want to open, minimizing any unforeseen construction costs. You can also go directly to the city and ask them if the type of business you want to open qualifies for the location you want to lease. For example, if by mistake you choose a property that's classified under a different use, this can require significant upgrades to the fire separations of the building. Besides that, here's a few steps to get started with a tenant improvement. Firstly, request the original drawings from the City Hall's building department. Find out what the previous use of the space was. Define your scope of work. Please include how many employees and customers there will be at a time. This helps us determine what the code requires. For example, the more people, the more exit capacity requirement, and potentially more bathrooms. You'll need a layout sketch showing all the desks, all seats, all tables, and any other furniture. This is crucial for meeting the code's travel distance and fire safety requirement. The typical professional you need for tenant improvement is a mechanical engineer to provide proper heating and air circulation throughout the unit, and a structural engineer if you're modifying any load-bearing wall. Or maybe you're building a mezzanine or a second floor, or you're adding any shelving over 8 feet tall. If you're adding some extra square footage or changing the business type, we'll have to look at parking, as this can affect the requirement. Additionally, you'll require an architect if any of the following items apply to your project. The building is larger than 6,460 square feet, or there's a change of use, meaning that the proposed business is different than the last. For example, you're going from offices to retail, or if you're making changes to the building's exterior. The building is more than 3 stories, or it's a commercial building classified as a Group B, like a hospital, or Group A, like a daycare, or a restaurant with a building area over 4,950 square feet. Please note that these characteristics apply to the building itself, not just your unit. These guidelines are set by the Architects Act. You can obtain more information by visiting aibc.ca. Put the link in the video description. Don't worry, if you need an architect, while we don't have a BC registered architect in-house, we collaborate closely with one to ensure all your project needs are met. Let's look at as-built measuring. As-built measuring is needed when the city has no original drawings of your home or business, or if there has been significant changes since the last building permit set of drawings. A significant change is anything that's hard to mark on an existing set of drawings. We use a LiDAR scanner that takes 360-degree photos and scans the rooms. This method is efficient, reducing what used to take me 8 hours to do down just to 3. It also minimizes human error. Please note, as-built measuring is different from a land survey. While we focus on the interior of the building, a certified land surveyor handles the exterior. The surveyor will measure the property's boundaries, grades, and in case of a renovation, the exact location of the house in relation to the lot. By now, you know zoning and building codes are not an easy feat. The building code alone are 2 binders, 4 inches thick, but if you ask a carpenter, he's going to say it's only 3.5. Don't try to tackle this on your own. Leave it to the experts. We offer a feasibility study for every project because each one is unique and needs to have a tailored approach. Whether you're a homeowner, business owner, or contractor, we're here to make sure your project runs smoothly from start to finish. Now let's conclude the presentation with 5 frequently most asked questions. 1. Do I need an architect? In most cases for residential renovations or custom homes, you don't need an architect. Unless your proposal has more than 5 dwellings, for TIs, sometimes as dictated by the Architect Institute of British Columbia, which is covered earlier in this video. 2. Can a designer request the original drawings on my behalf? Yes, but the designer needs to prove that they have authorization from the owner. 3. Can the designer apply for the permit on my behalf? Yes, but the designer needs to be listed as the agent for your project, which means they will be responsible for all inspections and outcomes throughout the entire process. For both legal and practical reasons, it's usually better for the owner or contractor to apply for the building permit, as they're involved in the project from start to finish. 4. After applying for the permit, how long will it take for me to get my permit? The typical turnaround time for a building permit is 4 to 8 weeks after submitting your application. However, in busy periods, especially in cities like Vancouver, it can take up to 12 weeks. 5. What will my project costs be? I'll cover project costs on a future video. However, I cannot give you exact costs of your construction, as prices between materials and contractors can vary widely. But I can help you understand what is required to build in 2025, which may impact your budget. And since you've made it this far into the video, I'll tell you this. The biggest cost in any construction is typically the finishes. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions specific to your project or want to learn more about our process, feel free to reach out by phone, email, or send us a text to the number on the screen. I hope this video has cleared up any uncertainties you have about getting started with a building permit. This was your host, Edward Vega.